Epic just recently released Unreal Engine 5.7, and that includes a feature called MegaLights that is now entering beta phase. I think you can go ahead and see that feature live today in Fortnite. This new lighting system is pretty powerful, and today I want to go over what exactly is MegaLights, why do I think it's in Fortnite, can I prove it to you, and how is that going to affect other games running in Unreal Engine over the course of the next few years. And yeah, let me go ahead and say, I play a little Fortnite from time to time. And all the footage you're seeing today is from me playing the game on my PlayStation 5 Pro. But before I dig into the details, let me take a moment to say please like the video if you enjoy it, and if you'd like to see more of my stuff, please subscribe. If there's anything you'd like to say about this video, leave it in the comments below. So what are MegaLights exactly? Well, it's a new system in the Unreal Engine that is like the yin to Lumen's yang. Lumen is all focused on indirect lighting, on bounced lighting, going all around the room, making things like reflections and all the nice soft shadows you see in the game up until today. But MegaLights are designed to replace the direct lighting system. Despite all the fancy features of Unreal 5, you've been looking at the same direct lighting system that Unreal 4 had all this time. Lumen makes it look great when it bounces that light all around, but it is time for it to get an upgrade as well. And so MegaLights replace the direct lighting system, allowing developers to have hundreds, possibly thousands of lights in a scene, all kinds of glowing emissive surfaces that were not possible other than through little glow blur tricks. They're not causing the light to act like it would in reality. And so for direct light, think about the sun, think about light bulbs, think about fire. Any kind of glowing thing is potentially a direct lighting object if this system is enabled for it. But the real magic of this new system is that it allows developers to have many, many more lights in a scene than they used to have. In the past, you were limited to maybe 5, 10, maybe 20 lights in a scene, but you get too many in there and the game's performance is going to tank. This system is going to allow you to have hundreds, possibly thousands of lights in a scene, plus all the glowing emissive surfaces and reflections and things coming around to make a much more complex visual scene than was possible before. Now, one big difference about MegaLights as opposed to Lumen famously has a software fallback, so it can do software ray tracing, but this new system requires that your system has ray tracing capable hardware. And believe it or not, a lot of this technology is based off the restir algorithm that is also used in reconstruction and regeneration from AMD and NVIDIA that helps direct the light in paths that are going to be more efficient and allow this kind of performance in real time. And so this system is going to allow developers with today's hardware to give path tracing-like experiences to gamers with much, much more realistic lighting than we've seen to date. And this is going to be great for a while, but eventually those path trace games are going to become the norm on other engines, I suspect. So what we're seeing in Unreal Engine today with MegaLights and Lumen and all these other things, there's still transitional steps to get us to that point. They're still hybrid with raster and ray trace in the mix. But from the look of things, we're probably going to see Unreal Engine running on the PS6, maybe even still when the PS7 comes out. There's going to be even more cross-generational games than there have been in this last cycle, I think, whenever we see the next generation come out, because we're getting diminishing returns once you hit this point. Once you get really true lighting and shadows and everything that act like the real world does, graphics is probably going to be plateauing after this point. But that's exciting because now the artists can focus on the content rather than the technical graphics abilities of things. And so like I said, the new version of Unreal Engine 5.7 just came out a couple weeks ago, and it brings this feature, MegaLights, into beta status. Before it was an experimental, it came out about a year ago when they announced it and showed it off to the world, but now it's entering beta, which means it's ready for testing. And where does Epic do all their testing? In Fortnite. So knowing that, I put out a prediction a couple weeks ago that we would see MegaLights in the game, and today I think I got the proof for you. Chapter 7 brings us a new map that has lights and glowing surfaces all over the place. Pretty much everywhere you look, there's some kind of glowing fixture or something. Now, some of this is fake, if you'll notice, but the lights here, look at the shadow. Look at how it fades into the floor. Look at how it's bouncing off the rock there and flickering along with the fire. Let's take another look. Look how it blurs out into that soft shadow. It is a much more realistic shadow than we normally get. This penumbra effect. Look how it changes when I'm closer or further away from the light. The different types of shadows and things we get here is not something you get in your traditional system. I am pretty confident that this means we're looking at MegaLights. Oh, wait. Hang on a second. Alright. So, like I was saying, you got these nice soft shadows on my character. You got them coming off the table and the chair and everything here. Because this light is dynamic. It's not pre-calculated. And yeah, I think these look great as they bend and twist around the room and blur just like they would in real life. And when MegaLights is on, you can have things like this. See, the light just goes away when I walk across the light. The light goes onto Rogue here, and her shadow obscures it. And, you know, let's go ahead and just show you it. Once again, this is a dynamic light, nothing pre-calculated here. You destroy it, no more light, it's gone. But it's not just lights and things that you normally think of. Now you have emissive surfaces. Look at this glow that we're getting here. If I turn this off, another one. Hang on a second. Guys, I just want to record. 1 second. All right. And yes, there we go. Okay, so yeah, you got all this wonderful lighting from what are traditionally direct lighting sources. You know, you've got lights in the old game. Lights is not a new concept here, but it's better lights with these shadows that don't normally always get cast. You can see here there's banding on the wall that is coming from the shape of that light fixture and how it's bouncing around off of it and the shape of the bulb itself. That's not something that your traditional lighting system is going to give you. And everywhere on the map you go, there's lights and shadows. I can jump up here and get a little glow and my shadow falls. Everything is looking much more alive in this. So now let's take a look at this scene. You've got nice light shining here, you got that soft shadow, and the light coming off onto the wall there from the fixture, but when it's turned off, all that goes away. You get a little shadow there because there is a light in the scene, but it's a more traditional direct light with that hard shadow. It's not fading out, it's not blurring correctly, it just looks, you know, like a stencil shadow. And this lamp over here, without these features turned on, is doing nothing. It's not glowing, my character's not affected, there's no shadows. But if I turn it back on, huge difference. And it's not just glowing on that bed and the wall there. If I walk over to it, I get that colored lighting on me. And I can't really see a shadow here, but if the room was dark enough, there'd be one for it. These lights, I think, are the most interesting and impressive demonstration because they blink on and off. Without the MegaLight system, they're just flat little things kind of changing their texture about, but not really having any effect on the scene. But when we turn it back on, that light is bouncing all around. You can see that other surfaces, like the statues nearby it, are getting lit up by them. And it's completely dynamic in a way that is just not something we've really seen in games before. This neon glows in a way that normally would be faked. You'd normally have to put all these extra area lights, but no, this neon just is emissive, and if you get close enough to it, you'll get a little bit of glow on you too. No, I'll step away here. There's no green shining on me, but if I get over closer, maybe a little closer, yeah. There it is. That light is shining on me the same way it is on the wall, and it's just bouncing all around the scene thanks to MegaLights partner Lumen. But this neon right here, look at this. It's bouncing off of that doorway in a way that you just would not normally see in a video game. This is going to change up the way that lighting looks in a lot of things, and the emissive surfaces are going to add a whole bunch of subtle details that you might miss if you're not looking closely, but really add something to the depth and look of the game. All these lights would have been way too much for performance in the past, but now this is possible. But I think we actually saw this in action last year. In the Winterfest room, you could see all these lights around, and look at this neon light. I'll turn it off. Turn it back on, you can see all these different glowing colors coming from it. That's not something you would see with traditional lighting. I think this was MegaLights a whole year ago, back when I think Unreal Engine was still in 5.5 and it was still an experimental feature, or alpha traditionally we call it. But they had it in here testing it out, not just in that one place, but also inside the Nutcracker's cabin. You can see these blinking lights also give off the characteristics of MegaLights. But if I turn it off, then we can see that it's rather flat. There's no light being given off. Now, Lumen is also disabled here, and of course that makes it look more dramatic because we don't have the shadows and everything bouncing around. But look at this Christmas tree. It's so basic right now, but if I turn the feature back on, wow, it's just glowing, there's lights twinkling. It is just a much, much better looking scene with MegaLights turned on, at least in my opinion. And yeah, I think I was correct a year ago, but I wasn't confident in saying it, so here I am now saying that, like, yes, this is MegaLights and it's here in Fortnite. And with Chapter 7, Epic is refreshing all of their game modes, it seems like, or at least the big ones. They've just released new maps for Blitz and Reload, and they both, I believe, are using the same lighting system. Eventually, every mode that Epic uses will have MegaLights enabled, and we'll probably be seeing it from other developers pretty soon too. And this feature is live today on not just the PS5 Pro, but the regular base PlayStation 5. I went and verified it over there too. They are still in place, although some things are maybe turned down a little bit, maybe slightly less of them are giving off shadows or other little ways that they optimize the game. But this should also, in theory, be available on Xbox Series X. I'm not so sure about S, but X should be able to do this if the PS5 can. And of course, if you have a PC with a GPU that was made in the last few years and has ray tracing capability, you can try it out there too. Yeah, I think this is incredibly exciting news because I think this feature is going to be a game changer despite being subtle at first glance. I think this is going to allow a lot more dynamic, interesting designs in games to have more unique experiences than we've seen before, allowing the artists and developers to have more freedom with how they treat light and to use it more. So yeah, I think this is a really exciting new feature in Unreal. I think this is going to make a lot of games have a lot of really interesting new lighting and things possible in them. Artists are going to have the freedom to have as many lights as they want in these scenes for the most part, within reason. And I think it's going to be transformative for us as we're still transitioning from rasterization to full ray tracing and path tracing in the near future. This is hopefully going to pop up in other games soon, so keep your eyes peeled, and hopefully Epic will have something to say about it soon themselves. I'm surprised they haven't announced it to the world yet, and they've done it kind of in secret here. But yeah, thanks for watching the video today. If you liked it, please take the time to like. If you would like to see more of my content, please subscribe. I'm also on Mastodon and other places, so check me out there. And yeah, this was probably one of the most complicated videos I've made in a while. A lot of time capturing footage and getting it all edited together, and I've got a lot more editing to do after this. So yeah, I'm just going to wrap it up and say thanks, and I'll see you next time.